Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel, as well as my other YouTube channels, and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a cryptid encounter video on the Adaro. Sailors in coastal communities have told tales of mermaids and other sea creatures for thousands of years. It's almost a cliche at this point. Most of us just chalk it up to some sort of misidentification of sea life, or maybe a type of a mirage at sea, or maybe just too much grog. Who knows? Any way you want to look at it, these stories are generally dismissed. A creature that's half human and half fish, yeah, that's a bit much for most people to swallow. The inhabitants of the Solomon Islands, however, as well as many other remote areas around the world, take their cryptid stories seriously. According to folk legend, the sea around the Solomon Islands is home to a curious race of beings called the Adaro. Now, by all accounts, they're non-violent and sometimes helpful beings. They resemble what one would classically describe as merfolk, mermen and mermaids, except that their heads are more fish-like than human-like. They have muscular torsos, and their hands bear talons, but their legs are replaced with fish-like tail and scales. Stories abound of fishermen in the area catching fleeting glimpses of them in the twilight. The stories are literally all over the place there. And most of the fishermen accept them as they believe they're real. I mean, it's not for them. It's not a cryptid story. It's they're here. Just got to find them. They're just rare. Once in a while, when a calamity or other disaster strikes, sometimes fishermen will pull out tales of how the Adaro, either singly or in small groups, help them from certain doom. Sometimes creatures are going to keep a boat from sinking or tow a disabled vessel closer to shore where it can be aided by other vessels. I found a few accounts of Adaro pulling drowning fishermen from rough waters. I found not one account of an Adaro being violent or spiteful. They really seem to be genuinely helpful. Now, I have heard stories of people say, yeah, they can be violent. But I've never read an account. I looked up multiple articles. I never read one account where these things specifically went after somebody. Now, any creature can be dangerous if cornered or if you threaten it in some way. Any creature can be can be dangerous. And I would assume these things can be as well. But I've not heard of an account where they, organized to go do stuff. In 2010, well, let me before I get to that, there's no actual physical evidence of the Adaro. Okay, so when people go, well, so somebody got pictures or somebody found fossils or a dead body or something. No, there's none of that. So then these are like the Bigfoot of the ocean, essentially. However, except in more so because there's no pictures. However, in 2010, a group of U.S. Navy SEALs were on a routine patrol around the Solomon Islands. They encountered one lone Adaro. The creature came up to the surface. The men instinctively went for their rifles. The Adaro submerged quickly. These men reported nothing of their encounter in the official channels. But several of the team members since then have collaborated on several articles. So these are Navy SEALs. They're when you're talking about military people in that line of work, you don't see a lot of them making wild, fantastical tales in articles or on video or anything like that. So when a military person of this stature, of this caliber, says something, you generally pay attention. They're not, yeah, anybody can lie. But these guys, if they lie, it affects their career. If they make up a wild story like this, They can't be trusted to perform their duties anymore. So we're not talking about, a grunt who saw a light in the sky. We're talking about Navy SEALs here. These are the best of the best of the best. So, in my opinion, just by being Navy SEALs, their credibility is up a few notches there. According to this group, they saw one lone Adaro. Because they saw this, they instinctively went for the rifles. This thing submerged and went away, and that was it. Now, I can't imagine any of them trying to shoot this thing, but you never know. Obviously, this thing probably thought, oh my God, they're going for guns. I got to get out of here. But my point here is there have been witnesses beyond the local fishermen, the local drunk fishermen, the local, you know, superstitious person, as it were. These are Navy SEALs, and they saw it. That tells you something. So anyway, do your own research and see if you can come up with more on this article. I found what I could, but if you can find more, please do so. I hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. There is a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. When the police detective, who happens to be a skinwalker squirrel, uncovers a plot by a paranormal perpetrator, he has to enlist the aid of his fellow housemates. If you enjoy a modern, quirky take on historical mythology, check out my new original novel, The House Off Farrago Road.